Hello to you all. I'm Ayala Bresler Nardi. I'm a dance movement therapist from Israel. I will share with you today the methodology of my research. Dance movement therapy, processes and interventions in treatment of children with anxiety disorder derived from therapy logs. This research started from a very private and personal place for me. Part of my practice as a dance movement therapist combines documentary writing. Through the years, I've written for myself in order to understand the therapeutic processes, to observe it through the timeline. The therapy logs function as a silenced witness to the process that happened inside the clinic. A lecture to dance movement therapist graduate students was a change point that made me think how I can take this knowledge and establish it to a therapeutic model for other dance movement therapists to use. It started a movement between practice and research, back and forward. The research paradigm. The current research is a participant observation study. The study examined action taken by the therapist and the patients, as well as reciprocal action that took place within the shared space, as documented in 8 therapy logs during 2013 to 2018. This was done through inductive analysis of movement and verbal content, defining domain context and identifying qualities under the phenomenological hermeneutical qualitative paradigm, which relates to written text, dance, and art as expressing the wealth of human experiences. This method is commonly used in studies dealing with counseling, psychology, and psychotherapy, and based on phenomenological elements for multi-type case studies in order to produce methodological knowledge that support and improve clinical work. The data collection procedure. Examination 42 therapy logs revealed that anxiety disorders appears to be a major diagnosis among the patients, and review of literature established it. Following this, for the purpose of the study, 8 logs were examined. That tracked the treatment of children ages 8 to 11 coping with anxiety, with symptoms of anxiety. The children were treated by the first researchers for minimum of 25 therapeutic sessions, with the average course of treatment lasting between 25 to 40 sessions. Research tool. One of our biggest challenges was dealing with therapy logs because they weren't very common research tool. We found that Marianne Milner established the Milner method for subjective autobiographical writing and psychoanalysis self-explorations. In her logs, she documented 4 decades of children case studies, and also a training session with Melanie Klein. With the help of Winnicott, Milner established the study of personal logs as reflection tools which assist in methodological constructions. Data processing. In order to analyze the data, a sequence of sessions were used, all taken from each log from 3 points in time throughout the courses of treatment, consisting 25 sessions. Sessions 1 to 6 from the start of treatment, sessions 10 to 15 from the middle of treatment, and session 18 to 25 from the end of treatment. In accordance with the CQR method, the analysis process was conducted by 3 researchers who are also experienced therapists. In the first stage of content analysis, the content chosen for analysis was coded by each researcher separately to identify domains under which the data could be clustered. In addition to that, we created an intervention chain, meaning we named the intervention in each session step by step. we given a title that represents the core of each therapeutic session as derived from the intervention chains. The researchers then discuss the results and reach agreement on the appropriate domain. In the second stage, the quality common to the therapeutic intervention was discussed, identified, and formalized using systematic comparison and generalizations, while taking measures to ensure that these reflected the data as currently as possible. This was done to per this course. Through this process, we identified 4 ACEs of interventions, which bring us to the finding. So the first one was intervention that encourage the patient to take actions, N equal 8, designing to help the patient move from patterns of avoidance through self-efficacy. 2, separation promoting intervention, N equals 7, to encourage the construction of an identity and the establishment of the self around context related to closeness, distance relations, and dependency patterns. 3, interventions to strengthen the sense of self, N equals 7, intended to build a sense of confidence and autonomy. And 3, intervention that promote integrations, N equals 7, which emphasize the connection between various aspects of the self. Now, for each of these ACEs, we identified the following 4 clinical interventions. Mirroring, and you can see the 4 ACEs down on the screen. Movement sequence between pools. Witnessing, that we can see here on the screen. And focusing to hitting awareness. So this is really general. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you later on the symposium.